Bryan Fischer, right-wing radio theocrat, weighed in on the shooting and lent us his sage expertise. Let's listen to his analysis, and then we'll talk about it.
You know, the question's going to come up, well, where was God? I thought God cared about the little children. God protected the little children. Where was God when all this went down? And here's the bottom line. God is not going to go where he's not wanted. Now, we have spent since 1962, we're 50 years into this now, we have spent 50 years telling God to get lost. Telling God we do not want you in our schools. We don't want to pray to you in our schools. We don't want to pray to you before football games. We don't want to pray to you at graduation. We don't want anybody talking about you in a graduation speech. We don't want anybody referring to you. We don't want your word read in our schools. So in 1962, we kicked prayer out of the schools. In 1963, we kicked the Word of God out of schools. In 1980, we kicked the Ten Commandments out of schools. We kicked God out of our public school system. And I think God would say to us, hey, I'll be glad to protect your children, but you got to invite me back into your world first. I'm not going to go where I'm not wanted. I am a gentleman. You know, I think back when I was in elementary school, we had prayer in schools, and we didn't need guns. I'm going to repeat that. Back when we had prayer, the Bible, and the Ten Commandments in schools, we did not need guns. So what I'm going to suggest to you is the ultimate solution here is not the Second Amendment, but the First Amendment that guarantees, protects the free exercise of religion. It's time to get a little bit of that free exercise of religion back into our public schools. And maybe it's time for some school boards and administrators to say, look, we don't care. The lives of our children are just too important to us. We are going to pray in our schools. At the beginning of the day, we're going to pray for protection. And I don't care what the Supreme Court says. I don't care what anybody says. Our children are too important to us to leave them vulnerable without asking God for his help and for his protection.
That's fucking painful. That's fucking painful to listen to people that stupid, that fucking stupid, that exist. Innocent little kids between the age of 5 and 10. Innocent little kids, never did anything wrong to anybody. They couldn't. They're between the ages of 5 and 10. And he's out there saying, oh, you know, it's basically the culture's fault. We don't worship God enough. We need to get down on our knees and praise God. And then, obviously, if we don't do that, well, we had it coming. Bryan Fischer is a fucking sick man. He's a sick man. People, very rarely in this world do you see clear examples. Almost everything's a shade of gray. Very rarely do you see black and white. This is black and white. Bryan Fischer is an immoral man. He's an unethical man. He has serious problems. Serious mental problems. Hey, Bryan, I got some news for you, by the way. And this isn't to shun or smear anybody who might listen to this show who's religious. But there's no evidence your God even exists. And you're gonna blame something that we don't even know exists for the innocent deaths of kids. You're gonna say, oh, how dare the culture and the society and the American people not worship something that very well might not even exist. It's our fault. We had this coming. If you just allowed prayer back in school, look at how profoundly fucking stupid that point is. If we just allowed prayer back in school and allowed God back in school, everything would be hunky-dory. What are you basing that on? And what kind of prayer are you talking about, Bryan Fischer? Are you talking about Islamic prayer? Oh, are you talking about Hindu prayer? Buddhist prayer? Prayers to the Greek gods, to the Roman gods? No, you're talking about your own personal opinion, your own personal crackpot beliefs, because you drink your own goddamn Kool-Aid, and you're trying to impose that on everybody else in the midst of one of the worst disasters, one of the most heinous crimes we've ever seen happen.